LA drops charges against Konnech CEO over storing data on Chinese servers. I mean, these people, it makes no sense. Garcon, the DA over there, who's a George Soros DA, I believe he's bought and paid for by the Chinese government, the CCP. He's a stooge. That's why he dropped the charges. And he comes with this dumb excuse to why he dropped the charges on someone who basically committed espionage, and nothing is going to happen to this guy. There's even further truth, even more proof to show that there's so many people high up in government, state and federal government, that are stooges for the Chinese government. But before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button, share this out so we get this information out there. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. Hit that alarm bell so you know when I'm putting out new stuff. Now, when you hit that alarm bell, you can change it from personal to all. That way you get all the notifications for when I put out stuff. And also check out my link tree in the description. It has a link to my Patreon where I talk about things I can't talk about here. And there's also a link to my Instagram where I put out even more news throughout the day. All right, let's talk about this news. On Wednesday, Los Angeles County Prosecutor George Gasson dropped criminal charges against Eugene Yu, CEO of the Michigan election software company Konnech. And I think it's funny. They're doing these things right after the election. They don't, like a day after the election, they do these things. Yu was arrested in October and stands accused of storing data on poll workers in a Chinese-based server, which was a breach of the company's contract with LA County. In a statement, the district attorney's office said that it had dropped the case due to concerns regarding the, quote, pace of the investigation and the, quote, potential bias in the presentation of evidence in the case. So, hold on. So because it wasn't moving, is a slow building investigation, you drop the charges. Investigations take time. Look at most investigations. It take years sometime before investigations are completed, and then potential bias in the presentation. What does that mean? What bias? You mean a bias against the Chinese government? Who are really our allies here? What are they talking about here? This is ridiculous. This is a dumb excuse. Quote: Mr. Yu is an innocent man, said Gary Linsenberg, Yu's lawyer, adding that, quote, conspiracy theorists were using the arrest to, quote, further their political agenda. Are you serious? What political agenda? Against what? This has nothing to do with politics. This has to do with China and how they steal our data. That's what it has to do with. But according to the New York Times, the sudden dismissal of the case leaves questions unanswered about Yu's activity. No joke. But, quote, the district attorney's office did not clarify whether the company had in fact stored data in China. It was also not clear whether additional criminal or civil charges could be filed against Mr. Yu or Konnech from Los Angeles County or dozens of the other counties that use Konnech's election management software, the New York Times reported. And you would think this would be a big deal because it has to do with elections and they want to keep the integrity of elections. And you got data that's actually going to a foreign government. And that's okay though. They dropped the charges on this. Garcon is a stooge for the Chinese government. Just like Joe Biden, we have so many people in our government that actually don't work for our best interest, but work for the Chinese best interest. Yu and Konnech had been at the center of a lawsuit against True to Vote, alongside leaders Catherine Engelbrecht and Greg Phillips. Mind you, these are the people that got arrested. The people that brought this to light are the ones that got arrested behind this. Our government is so corrupt. The Democrat Party, the left, is so corrupt. The organization said at a conference over the summer that its team had been located and downloaded Konnech's poll worker data from the Chinese servers and said that it had delivered the data to the FBI. Konnech accused True to Vote of hacking and defamation. Are you kidding me? The dropping of charges comes just days after Engelbrecht and Phillips were released from jail after refusing to release the name of a confidential informant to judges in the case. According to Reuters, the district attorney's office had indicated that it had not ruled out refiling charges after a review of evidence. The office said that it had created a new team of investigators to review the, quote, immense volume of data it had collected. Quote, I want to thank my prosecutors and investigators for their commitment to eliminating cyber intrusions against government entities and local business, District Attorney Garcon said in a statement after Yu was arrested. Quote, data breaches are an ongoing threat to our digital way of life. When we entrust a company to hold our confidential data, they must be willing and able to protect our personal identifying information from theft. Otherwise, we are all victims. And yet, you dropped the charges though. You say all of that when you arrested the guy and then found some loophole or found some way to release the guy is what I think actually happened. Garcon has faced a recall effort since taking office with those against Garcon accusing him of being soft on crime. And this is an example right here. And in July, the recall effort had received enough votes to proceed, though in August it was revealed that they did not in fact have enough signatures, with nearly 90,000 signatures of 566,857 signatures being from not registered voters, and roughly 45,000 were duplicates, according to the Los Angeles Magazine. A hearing has been moved up regarding the recall effort and their signatures to December 6th, with the group being granted an expedited review of the signatures. After assuming office in December 2020, Garcon immediately began sweeping reforms to the criminal justice system in the city. Such reforms include ending sentence enhancements, doing away with cash bail, prohibiting anyone under the age of 18 from being tried as an adult, and refusing to work with immigration enforcement officials. This is a corrupt DA. He has no place in as a district attorney. He should, I mean, but it's California, it's LA, so what do you expect? One of the most corrupt governments in this country, I believe. But let me know what you think. Leave your comments down below. Like, share, and subscribe, and check out democrepublics.com for the latest in news. Until next time, peace.